do you really value time? That is the question. And if you really value, then plan. If you plan, you will be able to. तुम्ही जर व्हॅल्यू टाईमला करत असाल तर प्लॅन इट, आणि ते प्लॅन केलं तर बिलकुल होऊ शकतं. बट यू हॅव टू बी डेडिकेटेड. प्रश्न असा आहे की डू यू प्लॅन? दॅट इज द क्वेश्चन. प्लॅनिंग इज इम्पॉर्टंट. आणि ते प्लॅनिंग केलं, sometimes you will hit, sometimes you will miss. But the question is, do you really plan properly and do you really try to execute that properly? If you do with your life, you will achieve much more larger goals. To work that I do, I definitely feel regret, but if that thing is not in my hand, गोष्टी माझ्या हातात नाही, तर I should not think much about it. माझ्या हातात आहे तेवढा वेळ भेटला त्याचा जे बेस्ट पॉसिबल करायचं ते मी करणार. That's what I should and you should also try. So you should think more of what you can do rather than which is not in your hand. तेवढं करण्यापेक्षा त्याच्यात तुम्ही डिबेट करू शकता, डिस्कशन करू शकता, पण more focus on what you can do. Focus on that.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy that after 1 month of your learning process, you are much better organized as compared to day one. The credit must go to Yashoda and you, both of you. So first of all, I appreciate the efforts of Yashoda and officer trainees who have taken interest in the process of changing at personal and professional level. I'm also happy that your representatives, 4 of you which spoke, showed a great courage, good learning and good presentation skills which are required in any profession, including the public service. Having said that, this is just the beginning of your learning, and this learning curve must continue to rise till the moment you continue your inquisitive skills of acquiring more knowledge, more depth, more variety, what you call big data, learning different streams and excelling in everything you desire to do, desire to work, desire to perform. Till the moment you continue learning, you live. The moment you cease to learn, you are dead. Maybe not physically, but in growth wise, as a person, you are dead. You are retired the moment you think that, yes, I have learned everything, now nothing more to be done or nothing more to be learned. And I think that's where you stop being a human and you become a normal animal like any other animal. We are animals. We are different from other animals because of our brain, because of our thinking ability, because of our organizing ability. The moment you stop thinking about learning and learning, you cease to exist that quality which differentiates you as a human being different from others. So keep learning, keep growing, that is the mantra. If you really do that, I think you will achieve whatever you desire in your life, and by that way, being a public servant, being a civil servant, will contribute for the betterment and growth of others as well. So I'm happy that you have started the process of transformation in yourself as well as thinking about how to contribute to the societal benefit, the betterment, even if to start with the livestock sector. I was pleasantly surprised that when I joined this department and I interacted with many of the officers, almost every deputy commissioner I have interacted, if not personally, in meetings and groups. DAHO I have interacted a lot with joint commissioners. One of the things which really struck me was lack of administrative knowledge and training imparted to them. And then I thought that there is something amiss. So I had asked the officers from the department to go for TNA, which was done here itself. I have also asked to go for training modules, not only at the induction level, but at your different career levels. When you are promoted from one post to another, when you go rise up, your roles change. Accordingly, you have to be trained. You have to be skilled and reskilled. That does not exist, so we are working on that. Shortly, that will also be available. But having said that, I really wonder why the integrated approach had not been adopted in the department. One of the speakers from your side said that because this was separated in 4 places, and you are much more happier when you joined Eshada, last 2-3 days, whatever time you got. Now just imagine that in your life, your hands are cut off from your body. Your head is somewhere else. Your legs are not in coordination with your brain or the body. Your mind and body are not in sync. What will happen? What will happen? Just imagine, for the sake, at the young age, if you do not have proper hair itself, what do you feel? You feel something amiss. Yes, I am handicapped, right? If somebody is physically challenged, he has limitations or she has limitations to be a so-called normal person, right? If you feel that by staying in one campus is better than staying at 4 campuses, then how can you adopt or accept the fact that your mind, body, words and actions are working in different direction? And that is exactly the problem in governance. Different silos, different objectives, lack of coordination. The biggest problem, on day 1 also I told you, the biggest problem in the world in governance is lack of coordination. When I say lack of coordination, means effective coordination. So you are feeling that, no, I am secluded from the group which is staying in Eshada, which is much more privileged, you think, but because you have to stay somewhere else, you are not getting those facilities. Just imagine that government policies which are meant for livestock rearers or the farmers or any citizen for that matter, some of them get it regularly. Those who do good work or who are aware, they will go to the office, seek the services, they will get it. Some of them may not get it. Some of them or most of them are not aware of the government policies, absolutely not aware, because they are busy in their own life, that whatever the policies are there which are for benefit of them will not be available to them. And you as a government officer, government servant, civil servant are expected to make this policy reach the desired citizens, which you are not. You are depriving majority of the citizens of these government initiatives. So are you not creating a wedge between and among the citizens? Are you not creating in marks haves and have-nots? Are you not sending a wrong message to the people, the citizens, saying that these policies were supposed to be there but they are not there because you are expecting something extra beyond what is expected as a remuneration? I want these benefits, I want
the vehicle to be given, I am not there, I am sick, I have other works, so this is my priority. So rather than being a positive, constructive communicator or provider of the services, you want to be receiver of the so-called deeds which are not yours, but you expect something which is beyond law, which is illegal, which is immoral. Very, very common when I was in the college or you were just out of the college, always saying that yes, government does not do anything. This is the problem. It does not listen. This corruption is everywhere. It's prevalent. If that is the situation, considering that this is the situation, this is generally perception, and there is a truth in that. Percentage may vary from person to person, place to place, that may vary. But there is a truth that governance is not really the way it is expected, we need to improve it. If that is the truth, if this is the ground reality, now you have the opportunity to make change to this perception, to the way services are rendered to the citizens, and the way when you expect that there should be elite society. This is your chance, once in a lifetime and rare opportunity for you people to contribute for betterment of not only some people, but all the people who are staying in the state. How can you do that? Over a period of time, you learn what is your role. As I said in the first, on the first day itself, that you have to differentiate between what is your work, what is your job, and what is your role. You must understand the role. Once you understand the role, try to play that role as effectively, as transparently as possible. If you are able to perform that role, I think you will really do a good service to yourself and to the society, which actually requires not just managerial skills, but leadership. I must always remember there is a difference between manager and leader. I think there was some lectures on leadership. Maybe they must have taught what is leadership, what are the qualities of a leader. I don't know whether it was told to you the difference between being a manager and a leader. Being a manager, you manage the things. Being a leader makes you visionary. You are a visionary. You create vision. You take everybody along with your vision for upliftment. Whether it's a social upliftment, whether it's economic upliftment, whether it's a technological upliftment. So create a vision, create a roadmap, take everybody along, empower them. You are not expected to provide them don'ts. What you and I as a government service providers, as a leader in a particular sector, are expected to empower them so that they don't require your assistance again. That is your role. If you are able to do that, then I think you can change from incremental change to transformation. And that's what I expect from each one of you. This sector needs transformational approach. As some of you are really happy that now there is a organization restructuring. You are worried that in 22 there was some 400 posts, whether there will be new posts. Now 200, 300 came, but now 3,000 more are posts created. So you will be happy. That's a good thing. But it's just not for you. Yes, for the citizens of Maharashtra, that is what is expected. You will get the job. You will get paid for that. You will get the facilities. But this actually is meant for 12 crore population, that you change their lives in your own way, in your capacity as a livestock development officer. How do you do that? Yes, we'll learn over a period of time what is your role. You just have started learning administrative skills, values in the administration. What you need to develop you as a leader, not just a manager. And that is the bottom line. If you are wanting to learn, wanting to become a leader in your sector, that's the best way. Your training and your contribution to your sector you can really be proud of. Forward. Okay. Just look at this cartoon. Can you read? Yeah. What does it mean? I have borrowed it from somewhere, it's not mine. I borrowed it from Harvard Business Review. What does it mean? Anybody? Does it sound familiar, experience-wise? We always say first impression is the last impression, right? Yes or no? No. Okay. I have your impression of day one. Right? Everybody, supposing you are given a choice, you have a choice. Say, for example, many of you will not be married, I believe so. Not all, many I say. Now you are given a choice that you have to have a bride or a groom. What would you expect that your life partner should be? You want to, आपल्याकडे ती सवय असते बघायला जायचं ती योग्य अयोग्य हा 2 मिनिटासाठी बाजूला ठेवा आपण. बट तुम्हाला जस्ट इमॅजिन करा की यू want to see your life partner, whatever, into a cafe or into home, whatever way methodology. घरी बघायचं का हॉटेलमध्ये बघायचं एवढाच फरक आहे, बाकी काही नाही. What would you expect? This picture? Or on the day one which you came, or as you are today, seemingly at least appearance wise, what would you expect? Nothing? Today's birth. I thought you would say that you would expect something like me which is standing here. Right? It's not look wise. Look is definitely a consideration. So you don't have to blow the first impression. I want you people to go with the confidence and the capacity and the capabilities. Not only technical, but governance capabilities and skills and communication. Go to the field, be confident and contribute. That's what I want. I don't want, if you want to, I was told by Prakash that most of you have not even visited collector office. That's quite surprising. Most of you have not visited Tahsil office. That's really surprising. Because when I was in college, I had definitely gone to Tahsil office to go for some certificates, non-criminal certificates, caste certificate, this certificate, that certificate, definitely. And if you are not doing your own work, and somebody else is there, I think you are not neither a good person nor you can be a good officer. Because that's a learning process. So create impression. When I say create impression, it doesn't mean that facade, but I don't mean by just for show up. No, you should be that person. Be real, authentic. That's what I expect. So don't blow. It's always the case. If you go to meet somebody, you will always expect that other person should be equally, reciprocally good in communication, in knowledge, in behavior. Would you not? But when you are sitting in the chair and the farmer comes to you, ask him to wait. I am busy. I have other works. And if he insists, I don't have only time to meet you, I have thousands of works. This is what it is. You are blowing up your impression as an idiot. He or she may not be able to say, but she gets that impression and your impression with that person lasts long. When you are working in an office, I would expect every person, every moment, every call, every visitor, none of them should get this impression. I hope you understood, right? Who is the person who is receiving here and who is the visitor? Can anybody tell from the OTs? Who is? I mean, who is the visitor and who is the receptionist? Yes? Snake is visitor. Snake is visitor. Who is the personnel here? Receptionist. Now look at the other way. Both of them are spoiling and idiots. Right? Life is like this only. You may call a visitor or farmer idiot, they call you an idiot. Keep this image always in your mind. Always. Whether you are at home, you want to help somebody, just remember this, idiot. And just don't remember, work on it. If you are able to do just this much, I think most of your work as a person will be taken care of. Always remember this lesson. Humility, humbleness, openness, these are some of the most desired qualities among the people, which we expect from everybody else, but we do not behave like that. And that is the problem. So that is not authenticity, that is not transparency. And that must have been taught in leadership qualities, which I'll also share some of those. So don't be idiot. Don't be snake or don't be like receptionist. Both of them have gone wrong. Both of them have gone wrong and horribly wrong. So make your step, particularly first step at every stage of your career carefully, and think that every step you take as a person or officer is the first step. If you are able to do that, I think most of your leadership qualities you can really develop. So what is leadership? Anybody? Leadership झाले ना? Anybody? What is leadership? Can anybody define it? I have this habit of walking. I really can't stand at one place. Anybody? What is leadership?
So leaders.
Okay, fine. Yeah, go ahead. आवाज येतोय मला. Okay, no problem.
So the leader is a person who takes responsibilities, who will manage the things in his with utilizing his skills, and who look into empowering the people. That I can say the leader person.
Okay.
Some of the
You are at college. You are a lecturer in particular subject, maybe say pathology. There is a director or a dean of a faculty or director of an institution. Who is leader? Who is manager? Yes.
स्वतः तर पहिले सेट करतो एक्झाम्पल, स्वतः काम करून आणि सगळ्यांना आपल्या सोबत घेऊन काम करण्यासाठी तयार करतो, तो लीडर असतो.
Example.
कॅप्टन ऑफ क्रिकेट टीम.
Okay. Who is leader? Hardik Pandya or Rohit Sharma? Who is leader? Why?
He has the capacity for doing good work. He has the capacity of doing work himself first, and then try to get the outcome of that doing thing from the others.
Typical bias. Typical bias.
Hardik Pandya won one of the two seasons as a captain of Gujarat Titans. Out of 20, Rohit Sharma got 5, I believe. So who is more successful? Bias. Yes, please. Great. At least one quality you have developed. Okay. So leadership is very, very difficult to define. There is no universal accepted definition of leadership. Yes, we can define number of ways. Number of ways. Definition is difficult. Yes, we can cull meaning out of it. That's why everybody talks about it. But very, very few understand it. Most of the confusion is between manager and leader. Very few understand it. Further, almost everybody desires to cultivate it. Right? You want to be a leader, right? In whatever sector. Leadership is just not about political, it's everything. This is social leadership, cultural leadership, administrative leadership, governance. You take it. Everybody talks, few understand, everybody desires, but what happens ultimately? Very few actually do it. Classic example is Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln. World leaders, these are real leaders, whatever sector you take it. And not because Mahatma Gandhi was able to galvanize or give us freedom, not just now, that's just outcome, one of the outcomes. He was able to lead the masses of India, lead the country to a dream. He created a dream. Abraham Lincoln, or I have a dream. Whose poem or whose speech is this? I have a dream. I think you must have read or heard it. If not, then you are really poor leaders. Poor readers, you are readers. I have a dream. Have you not done? So you need to read it. You need to increase your reading skills, reading abilities. You need to really, I think, live around veterinarians. You need to be for good human beings. And if you are not reading, you will not go anywhere. So I can characterize leadership. Definition is very difficult, and actually becoming leader is much more difficult. That's why you definitely must, when it is very difficult to define in itself, to become that, you can just imagine, right? And that's what your task is. That's what you are headed for, you and I are headed for. There are good leaders, there are bad leaders, there are worst leaders, there are great leaders. What's the difference between good leader and a great leader? Today I am just giving the hint, what you can say, pointers. Leadership is so big a topic. We are not be covered in 45 minutes. It will require hours and days together. So what is good leader versus a great leader?
हॅलो. गुड लीडर म्हणजे तो असतो जेव्हा पॉझिटिव्ह आणि निगेटिव्ह दोन्ही रिझल्टला एक्सेप्ट करण्याची ताकद ठेवतो, त्याला गुड लीडर म्हणतो.
Okay, that goes about good human also. We can loosely define good leader as one who tries to inspire faith among the people in his leadership, right? Just like you and me will always try to tell my boss or your boss, supposing your boss is commissioner, that you are a good leader. Confidence in leader. You are trying, how are you doing?
माझ्या आत एवढे LSS आहेत, त्यांनी माझ्याबद्दल चांगलं बोललं पाहिजे. मी DDC आहे, माझ्या अंतर्गत एवढे LDO आहेत, त्यांनी मला चांगलं बोललं पाहिजे. म्हणजे मला कोणी काही म्हणलं तर त्यांना सांगेल की तू त्यांना जाऊन सांगेल मी कसा चांगला आहे. दॅट्स अ क्वालिटी ऑफ बॅड लीडर. विदाउट टेलिंग इट, subtly doing it, trying to be confident in your leader is something good, one of the good leadership qualities. But then what is great leader? Great leader is somebody who gives that confidence, empowers the people that they believe in themselves. That's what Mahatma Gandhi did. He made every Indian Mahatma Gandhi a freedom fighter. It was not just his, he made them, he empowered them, he gave them confidence. Yes, you can do, even if there are machine guns on the other hand, by just a pint of salt, you can get the freedom. That's the power of inspiring confidence in themselves. That is what is called great leadership. You have to give confidence to the livestock rearers, the farmers, that you can be entrepreneur, उद्योजक होऊ शकता. हा कॉन्फिडन्स तुम्हाला तुमच्या शेतकऱ्यामध्ये आणायचा आहे. Can you do that? That's where the question is. That's what we are preparing for you. You want to be great? That's where you have to start. For that, you have to start believing in yourself, building those qualities which make believe that yes, you can do it. When you want some farmer to become entrepreneur, you have to ask question, can I, as an LDO, become entrepreneur? What are the skills? These are the skills. What are the finances? These are the finances. What is the technology required? This is the technology. What are the tools? These are the tools. Then how I do it? Yes. Then I make a prototype of it in my mind. I structure it, put it on paper, and then implement it on the ground and create entrepreneurs from the villages. That's what will become a great leader. That's what your job is. What is the real job of leadership? It inspires organization, it inspires individuals, institutions where you work and other institutions, and not only your organization, any other organization which is involved in that sector. Take responsibility for creating great future. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Either you are not getting it, or you are thinking that now where we are heading. Somebody said that I am happy that you are getting to work under me. I am also happy that young blood is coming and they really want to work. Really, I really appreciate that. But that's what your role is. This is where you need to work on. This is the direction in which you to grow. It will not come in a day. I don't expect you to do in a day. But by the time your probation gets over and you are started working as real LDOs and then go on working, I would expect you to start on good slate. But I would also expect that you grow and become great. So it will require a lot of effort. And that effort has to be put by you, it has to be put by the department, it has to be put by government, it has to be put by everybody involved in the process, right from your family. Right from your family. Because we are organic whole, as I told you. If you just cut off your hand, the hand is of no use, you are also become a handicap. So any of the organization, institution who are involved in the system is done away with, that much handicap you become. So you cannot separate your family, you cannot separate your society, you cannot separate farmers, you cannot separate your organization, institutions, your stakeholders. You can't. Right? So please understand these basic principles, then you will start walking on this path. So having defined, loosely defined leadership and understood what is the difference between good and great leadership, so can anybody tell what are the qualities of leader, crucibles or features or the most important things which requires anybody to be a leader? First and foremost, he should be visionary or she should be vision. He should have vision. The leader provides the vision. It creates the vision. not illusion. Vision. You may be good at creating illusion. You cannot become leader by being creating illusion. And that's what we always try. आम्ही ज्यावेळेस आपण ACR लिहितो, पिक्चरमध्ये आपल्या ACR मध्ये सिंह दाखवतो, असतो आपण ॲक्च्युअली पेट. टायगर दाखवण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो. हाऊ आय एम ग्रेट डन, लास्ट 1 वर्षात काय केलं, एवढं सो ग्रेट केलं. ते वाटल्यानंतर वाटतं की आपल्याकडे खाली जे चाललंय ते याचं याचं कुठं कोरिलेशनच नाही आहे. So you have to create the vision for your sector. Wherever you work, that vision has to be created by you, by the organization, by the institution, and that vision has to be worked upon. Right? It will not come without ethics and moral values. Nobody can be a leader without he or she being an ethical person or having moral values. Right? Now this is a topic in itself. I don't know whether this was covered or not, ethics and morals. Right? So, supposing I will give an example. तुम्ही गावाकडचे, how many of you are from villages actually? Most of you, right? When I was kid, त्यावेळेस मला एक स्टोरी सांगितलं. गावाकडे स्टोरी सांगण्याच्या बऱ्यापैकी लहानपणी एकदम ज्याला काय म्हणतो आपण पहिली दुसरीच असताना त्यावेळेची गोष्ट. एक गावात एक शेतकरी आहे, एक शेळी आहे, एक शेळी बरोबर ते काही खाद्य आहे आणि एक टायगर आहे आणि बोट आहे, नदीला पूर आला आणि ती क्रॉस करायची आहे. स्टोरी ऐकली, लर्निंग काय सांगू शकाल का? त्यावेळेस मला कधीच काही कळलं नाही. परम्युटेशन कमी, हे न्यायचं का ते न्यायचं, एका वेळेस दोनच नेता येतात, पण काहीतरी शेळी आणि टायगर नेलं तर शेळी खाणार का टायगर राहणार, शेळी आणि खाद्य नेलं तर खाद्य खाणार मग टायगर राहणार का, त्या दोघांना पाठवलं टायगर तुम्हाला एकट्याला खाणार का, वगैरे 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 वगैरे. राईट? लर्निंग काय? आय नेव्हर अंडरस्टूड. ॲटलिस्ट मी नाही समजू शकलो. तुम्ही समजू शकले, तुम्ही ऐकले की नाही मला माहित नाही. लर्निंग काय? कॅन यू टेक कोणतं कॉम्बिनेशन करून दाखवा मला त्याच्यातलं. ॲट ए टाइम यू कॅन जस्ट कॅरी 2 with none affected. You have to cross the river, flooding is there, you have to save. You have to save the goat, you have to save the tiger, you have to save the fodder, and you have to save yourself. Boat can carry 2 at a time, not more than that. That is the puzzle. How can you do that? Anybody? It cannot be done unless and until all of these 3 people at least, goat, tiger and human, have ethical and moral values. Try to solve it and show me without ethical and moral values. You cannot. Legal, yes, मी तुम्हाला पिंजऱ्यात टाकेल वगैरे, that is okay. That you are not supposed to do. That is the deterrence. That's always the law. टायगरला सांगणार शेळीला खाल्ला की मी जेलमध्ये टाकणार, टाका, किती टायगर टाकताय आपण बघूया. राईट? तसं तुम्हाला तुम्ही करप्शन केलं, करप्ट वागलं की तुम्ही जेलमध्ये टाकू, ते त्याचे परिणाम काय व्हायचे ते होतील. बट इफ यू आर एथिकल अँड मॉरल व्हॅल्यूज, you will not indulge, not even think of indulging those activities. If you are not ethical and if you are as a person unethical or immoral, your acts, your thoughts will also be unethical and immoral. Does it make sense? So if you want to be a leader, you have to be first ethical as a person, you have to be morally responsible to the society. Morals are for society, ethics are for individual. Right? And you have to combine these activities. But when in profession, you are professional there, you are veterinarian, you are livestock development officer or any capacity. Today you have this job, maybe you are going some other different job, you got promoted, different job. Some of you may trying to civil services, you become IAS one day, or you go to politics, you become minister, whatever capacity you work as, you perform role as. You have to identify the difference between being individual and being public.
It just not apply to you as an individual, it applies to you as a public servant. As a public servant, you must own public service is at the core. Public service. So public ethics, public morals, just not yours. Organizational ethics, organizational morals. Institutional ethics, institutional morals. Social ethics, social morals. This is what I am saying. I am just not saying for the sake of definition. You need to possess this. If you do not, you cannot be leader. One of the most important good qualities required for leader is the leaders nurture growth. They don't pull down. They don't become stumbling blocks. They actually promote growth among the farmer, among the institutions. They promote institutional growth, not individual growth. They promote farmers' growth. They promote societal growth. Whatever good, growth is their strategy. And when you say growth, it means larger public good, not individual alone. In public life, you will always be faced with this dilemma. Public versus individual. Always. And you have to make a choice. And if you make an individual choice, that's where you go wrong. If you make a public choice, that's where you go right, because you are a public servant. Individual good versus public good. And as a public servant, you have always to choose a public good. That's where favoritism comes. Oh, he is my, I can give some examples. I think, yes, I can discuss this within the four walls. When I was about to post you, because we had asked for your choices, we got the choices. As per the rule, you got divisions, and within divisions then, there is a civil service board which is headed by me. Then I have to post each one of you where. So I designed certain criteria. Everybody will go to institution, veterinary dispensary, nobody else. That's the first criteria, uniform criteria, and all of you have got veterinary dispensaries. Objective criteria, fine enough. The next come, for example, institution, then within that, say supposing in Pune division, I have got 20 officers to be posted. Where do I post them? There is a way of doing it. Yes, you are from Kolhapur to put in Satara or put in Pune. That is one way of looking at it. So I design criteria saying that native district plus bordering districts, no posting. That is second criteria I decided. Why? Because when I joined, I was told in this department, particularly to this department I am telling you, there were complaints to the minister requesting that I am posted 20 kilometers away from my birthplace. जन्मगावापासून 20 किलोमीटर दूर केले म्हणून मी तुमच्याकडे बदली मागायला आणि तुमची बदली माझ्या गावातच करावी लागेल. You are a leader, you can't even be a good person. No. So the criteria, not because of that, because of conflict of interest. The moment you are at home, complete, you are good or public good. So the second criteria. By fitting all those, then what is, which one? Then I designed a criteria by which I said that look at the population, animal population within the dispensary, top to bottom descending order. Highest population, first posting, that way, so that you can serve more farmers. The need of the department will be more there where more animals are there. So livestock जिथे जास्त तिथं descending order. Third criteria. हे सगळे असे क्रायटेरिया लावून झाले. शेवटी मग एका पर्टिक्युलर ठिकाणी करायचं माझ्यासमोर 4 नावं समजा. माझ्यासमोर 4 नाव आले. I don't believe in caste. I don't believe in religion. I am not a person who, I am so called, maybe I don't believe in many of the things. नाव आले. सानप, मुंडे, जायभाये, आणखी काहीतरी. आणि पोस्टिंग कुठे द्यायची होती. आता माझ्यासमोर हे कधी विचारत नाही, पण समोरचा विचार करू शकता हे मला विचार करावा लागेल. की समोरचा व्यक्ती काय म्हणजे हा मुंडे म्हणून याने इथं जवळ दिला हा विचार करू शकतो का? येस, कोणतरी मुंडे आहे ना याच्यामध्ये? येस, डेफिनेटली. तर मला आठवते पोस्टिंग करताना, कारण मी पोस्टिंग करताना मी तो विचार केला होता आणि हे डिस्कशन केलं होतं. उद्या यू कॅन डिस्कस विथ
मराळे यांच्यावरती ॲक्च्युअली डिस्कशन केलं की हे मुंडे नाव आहे ना, म्हणजे यांना मेन पोस्टिंग द्यायची नाही आता. No, I'll tell you why. It's not something I did deliberately or something. When you are a public servant, you have to be really sometimes ruthless. Ruthless for the public good, not for individual. I have been posted so many places. As a collector, 2 places. As a Jilla Parishad, 2 places. Municipal Commissioner, 3 places. Many times I recruited people. आणि सर्व्हिसमधून आल्यापासून I think one mistake I made. I definitely made one mistake. I regret it, but maybe whatever it is. I told my relatives not to apply in the district where I am posted, which is illegal and immoral. So I cannot prevent anybody from applying anywhere, but I did that. I really did that, which is actually illegal and immoral. Should you go to that extent? No. I am not expecting, because you cannot deprive right of anybody, because it's not his fault that he is relative and you are there. There is a mechanism by which if he comes or she comes for an interview, you can recuse yourself. That we can do. But I strictly told no application in my district where I am posted. Simple. That's it. So I can go to that level, that integrity, because I didn't want anybody to even question that. Even if your relative is on merit, got selected, that you favored him. I wanted not to do that. That was wrong actually. I cannot really deprive the right of a person to apply from anywhere, anybody can. And then when I was posted, say in Nagpur in the beginning, there I recruited, then I was in Jalna, then I was in Solapur and I recruited. And I found that Talati, for example, I was in Solapur, the applications came from Akola, Buldana. Then I asked, there is also recruitment, why are you applying here? The answer came, which I was surprised, which should not come actually. Answer came that we have guaranteed that there is no apra-tapri here. That's why we applied here. That confidence must be in your people. That confidence you make, and that's where you nurture growth. Growth of an individual, growth of a society, growth of organization, growth of institution. But it should not be at the cost of somebody, which I tried in examination. I did try to at cost of somebody, which is wrong. We should not do at the cost of somebody, which is illegal, immoral. You have to understand you can do a public good without affecting negatively the other person. Not every time, most of the time. So you as a leader need to build a culture where growth is nurtured. You don't become a stumbling block for the growth. And when I say growth, it doesn't mean personal interest. Again, I am saying public interest, public good. Through that you empower, leaders empower. Right? If there is you actually nurture the growth, that way, that's how you empower the people, empower the institution, empower the organization. You empower yourself also for growth. You don't prohibit your growth, you growth. When I say growth, as a human being, as an officer, I am not saying in terms of riches only. I am talking in terms of person, officer. You grow, you promoted. You are given better opportunities. You excel, you are given better responsibilities, wider responsibility. That is also growth. And that through that you again empower others. So it's a mutual process. Leaders inculcate the culture of growth and empowerment. Right? One of the most important, fostering connections. We always say we are living in a connected world. The question is, are we really connected? WhatsApp केला म्हणजे connected राहत नाही. Are we really connected? Connected with whom? With yourself first. And then with others, with the family, with the society, with the organization, with the institutions. And are you connected with the vision of your organization, institution? You need to be connected. And that culture of fostering connections within yourself, without yourself, that is a quality which leadership must possess. What does leader do? Do they control or do they motivate? Control means you are authoritarian.
Yes, authority and leadership is also there. One of the leaders. Sometimes it is required, particularly in times of crisis. But if you are a motivational, you can really motivate the people to do right things, good things, better things. That's what you should be. And motivational does not mean for others. First, you have to be motivated yourself to do the right thing, good thing with efficiency, least of the resources. You should try to be motivated, not just controlling others. Yes, authority, I can control it. I'll give you show cause, I'll suspend you. Yes, there are means, but they have to be used very carefully and discreetly, because if they have a particular officer, particular organization, institution has derailed from the vision of the department, vision of the organization, vision of the society, public, चाहे वो individual interest, that is what your motivation should be there. There should be conviction in decision making. नाही वर्षाने सांगितलंय म्हणून करतोय. Whatever you do, whatever decision you take, you have to convince you have to be convicted about that. Unless your conviction is there, you cannot really lead it, you cannot make it happen on the ground. You cannot change, you cannot transform. So that's why whatever decision you take it convincingly, otherwise say I can't. And then you have to explain why you can't. Discuss, and you will get the answer who is right and who is wrong, what is good and what is not. When I say good, does not mean other side is bad. Not good is also category there. Good, not good and bad. Bad is not option for you. Your option is between good, not good, great, better, best. This is your option. Bad and worst are not your options. When there is a bad and worst option, then that's where your action begins. You have option right from good to great. That is your options. No bad, no worse. And with this type of resources which are lending, we are trying to transform this department. I don't expect anybody of you land in bad category. Can I expect that? So be convicted, have conviction in whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you act. Ultimately, you have to have problem solving ability. All this leadership solves the problem. कमिशनरने पहिल्या दिवशी सांगितलं होतं की फ्रॉम जॉब सीकर टू जॉब गिव्हर पाहिजे तुम्ही. दॅट्स व्हॉट युअर जॉब इज टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लेम्स, नॉट पोज द प्रॉब्लेम्स टू द फार्मर्स. यू कॅनॉट से की नाही मला माहित नाही आहे, शासनाकडून निधी आला नाही, मी काय करू. नो, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स. यू शुड बी एबल टू कम्युनिकेट व्हाय फायनान्स आर नॉट रीच यू. मोस्टली इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ युअर weakness, because you are not perform something in time, you are not process something in time. फार्मर्स आर टॅगच करून घेत नाही, आम्ही काय करायचं. कॉमन क्राय मी आतापर्यंत ऐकले. 2017 पासून कार्यक्रम सुरू झाला, अजून आपलं टॅगिंग पूर्ण झालेलं नाही. ऐकत नाही. शेतकरी म्हणतात आमच्या जनावरांचं दूध उत्पन्न कमी होतं, कानाला काहीतरी होतं, वगैरे वगैरे वगैरे. इट मीन्स यू लॅक स्किल ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, यू लॅक कन्व्हिन्सिंग स्किल टू द फार्मर. व्हॉट आर द बेनिफिट्स, व्हॉट आर द good things which will happen and what are the bad things which will happen if you not go by this. That's where you have to have problem solving ability in yourself. All this is meant for outcome, just not for theory. You have to measure outcomes, not the just processes. Process need to be followed. It's sacrosanct, but the most important and most sacrosanct is outcome. If the outcomes are not there, it is of no use. When the government is inducting you in the services, we expect as a government outcomes from you. We don't expect you just go there, sit there, आणि आम्ही सांगितलं तुम्ही खाली कोणाला तरी सांगणं, एवढं अपेक्षित नाही. Outcomes are expected from LDOs, from assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, joint commissioners, secretary, mantri, everybody. Towards whom? Society, towards people. Outcomes, betterment of life, growth, development. These are the outcomes, and those are measurable outcomes, not theoretical. Measurable. Every year, this is the growth we have achieved. What is the contribution of GDP of livestock sector from say 2.7 sector to have been able to go to 3, from 3 to 4. This is what we expect. This is what we expect. What is the productivity per animal from 5 liter to 7 liter high increase in my district? This is the outcome. What is the meat outcome? It has come from 12 kg to 15 kg. That's what we expect. Disease control, no outbreak, this is the outcome. Prevention of diseases, that's the outcome. Growth of income of farmers, that's the outcome. New genetics, that's the outcome. Measurable outcomes, just not theoretical. That's what we expect. Ultimately, you have to create a leadership culture in your organization. You are here to create leaders, not followers. Please understand. Most of us are followers. The person who makes or creates followers is not a leader. He may be mass mobilizer. You are to create leaders. Leaders in farmers, leaders in organization. They themselves should become leaders in this sector. That's what we expect. That leadership growth culture, that leadership culture in your organization has to be there. If you are able to do that, you don't become indispensable. That's what is expected. Institution should become indispensable, not you. That's all some of the major crucibles of leadership are. It is not very exhaustive, it's indicative, but that's what it is. Leadership just does not talk, it gives actually action. Action speaks louder than words. Right? You should be action oriented. When I say action, does not mean you have to just fire somebody. Action means results. Action means activity. Action means processes. Action means building institutions. This is what action means. How do you do that? You are just entering the service. Build on positive moment day from the day you enter in your service. Now you go to the district, you have attachment, build a positive momentum, create connections with the officers, with the society. Learn from them, understand their organization, go to collector office, learn what is a collector office, what is the role of collector office, what is the role of collector, what is the role of deputy collector, what is the role of tahsildar, what is their role in disaster, what is their role in regulation. Learn, understand, process it within yourself and take it for your growth and your institution growth. So build positive movement around you, with you, within institutions. What does it mean? Does it make sense? Early missteps. You will, because you and me are not perfect. Maybe some of you are. You are allowed to take missteps during probation. Does not mean deliberately. When I say missteps and mistakes are two different things. Missteps, that's where you learn. So I was a probationer of somebody. He gave me full freedom. Do whatever you want. Even if you make mistake, don't worry. Just do it. I did commit some mistakes. It's not that I did not commit. So I learned one thing. Let the probationer do, learn, explore. In that, if you are required to make some mistakes, those are acceptable. But not behavioral mistakes. Functional mistakes I can understand. Not behavioral mistakes. You can definitely make some mistakes and learn from them. That's what the message is. Focus on right thing, not wrong. Otherwise, first, wrong thing, when you go to field, you will always learn about negativities. That's what I wanted to hear in Yashada. Learn our administrative values, ethical values, administrative governance, and then go to field. Rather than learning from wrong sources, learn from right sources, take a perspective and then go to field. Then learn from them. And if you understand that those are wrong, you should be open to discuss with them. What you are saying is incorrect, this is correct. Either you convince him or her or they convince you or. That's where your ability comes. So, focus on right things. And start to make an impact. Think, how can I make a change? How can I be a change maker? Unless you are a change maker, you are not going to really a leader. Your job is to make impact. Right? When you go there and leave the place, the people must remember, yes, he did contribute something in this area. That impact on the lives of the people, on the livestock, on the area, on the society, on the organization where you worked, surrounding organization, you have to be able to make impact. Think in that direction right from day one. Other factor, crucial factor, trust. Build trust with everybody. Start with yourself, within your office, within your organization, with the farmers, with other offices. Build a trust among your team, your colleagues, all your stakeholders. If you do not build trust among the farmers, no use. If you do not build your trust in your team, they will not believe you or abide by you. If you do not build trust in your boss or leader, he or she will not believe you. So you have to build trust. And when I say trust, trust is always with honesty, no deception. That trust you have to build and start with yourself first. Can anybody answer? Trust and happiness, are they coterminous? Anybody who says yes? Anybody who says no? None of the answers. So you don't understand what trust means. Trust is not necessarily directly proportional to happiness. No. If you want to make somebody happy, and if you betray the trust and without telling no, you are doing good thing when he or she is doing wrong thing, you still can make happy him momentarily, but ultimately he will not be happy and you will also not be happy. So it is not, trust and happiness are not necessarily coterminous, or they are not necessarily directly proportional. Sometimes they are inversely proportional as well. What you choose? You have to choose trust, not happiness. Right? Same goes with government policies. Same goes with the society. Just imagine that you are fooling your family and they are trusting you, but one day they will come to know that you will be out of their trust and good books. That's what happens when you have earned the name in the beginning or somewhere in your career that you are not trustworthy. You have lost the plot. That's why you have to build a trust in your team, in your organization, with your colleagues, with the government, with all stakeholders. Building trust is crucial for any leader, any leader. As I said, and it is inversely proportional to cost. More trust you want, cost will always go up. For example, as you understand from outside, तुकाराम मुंडेच्या बदल्या होतात. आता ती कॉस्ट आहे का काय आहे, माझ्या दृष्टीने ती बिलकुल कॉस्ट नाही आहे. Because that is not my goal. My goal is to serve, make impact, make change. That's what I look. And that's what a public servant should look like and work like. Your job and your role you understand. I understand, I try to understand my role. You try to understand your role. You can't please everybody, definitely not. You can't. And you are not supposed to please everybody. What you are supposed to do is the right thing. Create an impact, growth oriented culture. That's what you are supposed to do. You have to be honest. So it's not necessarily always the cost and trust will go together, not necessarily. It's just not some one activity you did one day and you are through your life. No. It is a constant and continuous process. Through your each action, each word, each behavior, it will reflect. Each one. Whether in personal life or professional life. That's why it's a continuous learning process, as I said earlier. So leader have to build. When we say, somebody said that, he is a great guy, he never errs. That's the leadership quality. Because he or she makes it sure that I have to work, talk, behave as if this is my last thing and the first thing. That's where relationship is built with trust. Relationship is built with persons. Relationship built with organization. So it's not a singular thing, it happens and happens.
Throughout life, you are married to either truth or untruth, and once you derail it, you have lost the plot. So don't lose it. Early on, build it. It has always an element of risk. And this, what I am telling you, very few people will tell you. It has a risk. It has a risk. Because nobody likes to say, hear no. And as a public servant, you must be ready to say no, yes, whenever required, in right spirit. For public good, not for individual good. As I said, if there is a choice, say for example, popular amongst you always must be somewhere. Supposing there are two choices before you, now, say I was in, say, Nagpur as a municipal commissioner, and there was a demand for Jumbo Hospital. There was a demand. Jumbo Hospital Mumbai la zala, Pune la zala, tikde. I said no. So obviously, many of them are really furious. Why not? There's a demand. Government says that if you need it, you can do it. Authority was with the commissioner. Commissioners were given full authority within the municipal limits. Collectors were given in rural limits. I said, no, I don't need it. The counter question, why? We are saying it is needed. There are so many patients. I said, my job and role is to provide services to all the COVID affected people. If and when required, when the present facilities or the facilities which I have built up are not sufficient, then only I will cover Jumbo. Till that I am not going for Jumbo. Within that, I was a municipal commissioner for almost 6-7 months totally. I joined in January end. I left in August end. February end, COVID came in, so I had 1.5 2 months. Health system was in disarray, and some of my meeting video has been viral at that point in time. I was firing my doctors and all those things was there. So I said no. So I actually built 5 hospitals within that 1 month. Structure was there, but hospital not there, building was there. Everything from ICU to oxygen to every damn thing we were able to do in 1 month's time. Record break 1 month's time. Why I wanted to do that? Rather than spending on a Jumbo hospital, if I spend it and invest in the hospital, that will be permanent. Today, those all hospitals, 5 hospitals are running smoothly. That's what you should be able to say no. It's a risk game, yes. Does it cost? Yet it costs. But what you have to consider is the public cost versus individual cost. I may have lost some goodwill from somebody, maybe those who matter most, maybe their goodwill. But I was able to save hundreds of lives. That is the cost I was ready to pay for it. That's where it's a risk. That's where leadership qualities count there. You should be able to say no, you should be able to take risk for the public good, not for individual goods. That's what I'm saying. You should be able to play this game. Ultimately, read this line carefully. Pint of example equals a gallon of advice. I may be here to say thousands of things today, leadership. आपको लगता होगा ज्ञान दे रहा हूं. You will get hundreds and hundreds of people who will actually give you this gap. Would you trust him as a lecturer or a leader? And would you trust somebody who actually has led by this example? Who will you believe more? Lead by example. That's what you should be. Leading by example. Again, I will give an example because that's a crisis example I am giving. I can give thousands of examples. When I was municipal commissioner, and in the first wave of COVID, because you are dealing with these factors also, in the first wave of COVID, doctors never dare to visit the patients. Camera madun, window madun करायचे आणि मग तो front line worker जे PPE घालून तिथपर्यंत जायचे, right? I was the first one to visit ICU of COVID. डॉक्टरच्या डीनच्या अगोदर मी गेलो होतो. Yes, it was risky, but I did it. I really wanted to know what exactly is the issue. And then I understood the issues also. I actually interacted with the patients.
who is high risk. When they are ICU, you can understand it's high risk. And you know, many of the fatalities definitely could have been averted because it was really nobody knew what is to be done, particularly in first wave. Nobody knew what is to be done because virus was new, nobody knew treatment. It is only whatever it has happened. So it has to be learning by experience only. Negative pressure concept is there, you must be knowing because you are veterinarians. And if you really analyze the deaths of COVID and analyze the time of deaths, we will come to know the morning 2 to 4 is the majority of patients would have died. Just analyze the data, whether in your city or state or world across. Why that time? The storm. You understand the storm in medical terms? If you don't understand, go and read it. The storm used to happen at that point in time, and mostly this was basically hypoxia cases. Mostly death is because of hypoxia. The storm did happen at that point in time, and nobody was able to attend there at that point in time. Nobody was there. Patient got left without oxygen, hypoxia developed, and that's it. That was the time. Because during night time, automatically your breathing capacity normally goes down because you are asleep. And as it is, COVID attacks your lungs. And during that storm, when this attack comes, there is nobody to attend, you have gone. That's why the death percentage is higher during that time. Could we make difference? Yes, we could. Later on we learned. So second wave, focus on oxygen, that was the focus. And those who focused on oxygen could save more lives rather than the injection which were really used against that virus as well. Right? That's where point of example, saying no, trust, cost. Just imagine, I am connecting, I am not giving you theoretical GAN, I am actually giving the GAN what actually you should behave like. And it doesn't mean that I am giving my example, I am giving a leader's example. Any leader, you think of it, what will you do in that situation? That's what you should remember this principle, that's what you are supposed to do. Whether you follow or not, that will make a difference between you being a manager or you being a leader. Most important, value creation. Leaders always create value. They don't create followers. First, understand this is the question you must always haunt. 24 hours, 7 months till you die. Why I am put in a particular role? I think I am exceeding my time, but I will take it. Permission hai ki nahi? I'll take it because I really, one of the days I actually had to come. I could not, and I actually wanted to deliver a lecture on leadership. I could not, that's why I thought that at least today I'll be able to deliver it. So what is needed is question. Why are you put in that role? Role, not job. I have got a job. When you are unemployed, you think that I need a job. When you need a better job, you need a status. Now I have got a job as well as a status. This much is fulfilled. Now you can go for other your dreams, marrying your dream girl or dream boy, that you can always do. That's part of your life you will do. Question is, why are you put in this role? Or when you get married, why are you put in that role? Whatever role, as a father, as a brother, as a human being, as an officer, as a leader, what is your role? Ask this question and try to get the answer. If you are able to answer that question, I think you are definitely going to be a good leader. Definitely. Role. Day one also I made, again I am emphasizing. When you say why are you put in that role, you have to understand the expectation as your role from all your stakeholders. For your stakeholder, the most important stakeholder is who? Society, public at large, just not farmers. I will explain later on. Society as a whole. That's the most important stakeholder. Government, other stakeholder, your boss, stakeholder, your colleagues, stakeholder, press, stakeholder. All these are stakeholders. The importance will go down depending on your role, go down and up. But the most important is your society, public. That's the key, because you are a public servant. So whatever office you go, whatever position you work, public remains the center stage of your activity because you are a public servant. What will you do in this case? I am going to assess, department is going to assess your progress on the outcomes, not just on outputs, not just on processes. You have to follow output processes. You have to achieve output. But I and department, which I am reorienting, we are reorienting, outcome oriented, just not output. For 1 month you have been told, next 22 weeks, right? Or 26, 22 weeks, you will learn your role at a district administration, different branches. For the first time happening, but it was important. But that's just the beginning. What is important is multiple stakeholders you have to satisfy. The core being the public and the society. So, as in a role, you have to understand the full set of expectations when you are performing a particular role. Being LDO at veterinary dispensary or clinic is one role, but if when you are posted in, say, district office, your role differs, though you are LDO. And if you are posted in a commissioner office, your role differs. Being a deputy commissioner at district is one role, but you are put in a regional joint commissioner office, your role differs. If you are put in commissioner office, your role is differ, and if you are put in Mantralaya, your role differs. So you have to understand the full set of expectations of your role. Wherever, whatever time you are, it changes from time to time, it changes from place to place, it changes from position to position. But basic role remains same, public good. You have to change the culture and behavior of not only yourself but the organization as a whole. Thus your immune system. If you develop a culture, positive culture, result oriented culture in the office, in the organization, that becomes your defense mechanism. Then you don't need to create artificial things. He or she will tell you, no, automatically it will take care. Right? That culture and behavior you have to develop within your organization. Most important norms you have to cultivate, you have to understand, you have to cultivate. Not only yourself, but the team around you, the office around you. That you need to do it. You have to prevent wrong thinking and wrongdoing. Always say, me positive विचार करो तुम्हारा positive होए. It has a huge meaning. When you say actually you have to act, it means basically you have to think first for that way. I will do right thing, not wrong. But if you think wrong, you will automatically do wrong things. Because first action starts in your mind, thinking. As you think, so you behave. So you behave, it becomes habit. One thought converts into behavior. The same behavior repeated multiple times becomes habit. Habit becomes culture. Culture means you. That's it. Wrong thinking, wrong behavior, wrong habit, wrong culture, wrong person. Right thinking, right habits, right behavior, right action, right person. Fully no to wrong thinking, wrong action. That's it. Whatever time, in personal, professional life. You 100% cannot delineate personal and professional life. It is integrated. So you cannot be honest in personal life, but dishonest in professional life. Or reverse way. It cannot be. You have to be honest personally, then only professionally you can be honest, otherwise not. So prevent wrong thinking and wrong action. Key norms you cannot, whether you like or not, at your peril. If you shout at your boss, he or she is not going to like it. Even if he or she is wrong, you have to communicate the way it is expected of an officer or a leader. If you behave and violate norms, whether it's a protocol norm, whether it's a behavior norm, whether it's any norm, it is not good for you, that is at your own peril. Do you any time if you feel that you are not belong to that particular place, it means you have not understood the culture of organization or you have not understood your role. then it means you neither will be able to justice to yourself or to the organization. So, summing up, you will not be able to become a leader in that sector. So, don't show in a way which is unexpected. Never do that. I don't want you to be status quoist. अभ्यास करण्याचं काम नोकरी लागली की सोडून देतो. ॲब्सोल्युटली रॉंग. ॲक्च्युअली अभ्यास इथूनच सुरू होतो. ज्यांनी अभ्यास बंद केला त्यांचा ग्रोथ बंद झाला. तुम्हाला नोकरी लागणं हा जर तुमचा आतापर्यंत ध्येय होता बिलकुल होता, पण आता ते माध्यम पाहिजे. युअर सर्व्हिस इज नॉट युअर मीन्स, नॉट युअर एंड. आतापर्यंत होता, जोपर्यंत नोकरी लागत नाही, नोकरी पाहिजे, पगार पाहिजे, घर चाललं पाहिजे, ॲब्सोल्युटली क्लिअर. माझाही तोच होता, माझाही तोच होता. पण एकवेळेस नोकरीत आल्यानंतर दॅट इज नॉट अ गोल. देन गोल इज समथिंग डिफरंट अँड युअर गोल इज पब्लिक सर्व्हिस बिकॉज यू आर अ पब्लिक सर्व्हंट. सो यू कॅनॉट बी स्टेटस क्वो जे आहे तसं. नो, नो वे. I don't expect my officers and young officers like you to be status quoist. You have to be changing all the time, making changes. Sometimes organization will put you in a different position, or you will put somebody in organization in different position. You will be able to cope it. Yes, get ready for that. You have to prepare for the worst. You have to prepare for the worst. Then only you will come out with flying colors, otherwise not. And if you are not able to get the inputs from below or not hearing, then you are not developing the system where you can really make a difference or impact. You have to get feedback. You have to be open door policy you have to develop. Whether it's from the farmers, colleagues, seniors, juniors, press, everybody. Let the information, let the knowledge come in. Think it over, process it, and do the right thing. Make the right choices. Don't go for short term. Always think of long term, and in the long term strategy you have to think of short term games, and then only you will feel autonomy. You will, if you feel that there is a pressure, no. If you really take it positively, because if somebody is telling that this is to be done, you have to understand his or her expectations, and if you think that right is wrong, you have to be able to convince that it's wrong. It will not help you. That is what the role of leaders is. That's why nurturing long term view is much more important than just opening short term, and long term view will definitely help in opening up long term perspectives for you and the organization as a whole. So in the process, who are your stakeholders? Who has the power to influence on you? Those are your stakeholders. Whose support is crucial, as I told you, right from public, your colleagues, your boss, your press, your politicians, government, all support is crucial. At least there are 5 elements which I will explain who are important for you. And if you understand, out of 5 it's very difficult to. तुम्ही बाहेर जा, एवढा इम्पॉर्टंट फोन आहे, बाहेर जा. एसदामध्ये काम करता का बाहेर करता? कुठल्या? तुमच्या ऑफिसमध्ये इथे तुम्ही ड्युटी करता का काय करता? फोन घ्या तो त्यांचा, कॉन्फिस्केट करा. So you need the support of your all stakeholders. How do you get their support? By doing the right things. Don't try to just please them for the sake of getting their support. It will not last long. TV इथे बंद होणार आहे इथे? नाही, त्याला ओके कुठे याच्यामध्ये? ओके कुठे? ओके याचा करा क्लिक. कुठे जात आहे ते? बंद होईल ना ते. So there are multiple stakeholders, just not office, and just not your boss. You need collaboration, you need coordination. At your own you can't do it, and you have to be able to navigate in different situations. These are all yours. Who are the stakeholders? As I told, public or society at large. Media, you need their support, you just cannot antagonize them. Colleagues, You require their support for results, team effort, reporting authority, your bosses, politicians, all these are your stakeholders which you must take into account while performing your work. When you join, you need to think of low-hanging fruits because everybody likes results. Your boss like leaders, public like leaders, colleagues like leaders. Everybody likes results. So, look at the quick intangibles which you can provide. Pendency दूर करा. Tagging पर राहिलेले पटकन दूर करून टाका. Tagging करून टाका. People will be happy. तुमच्याकडे येणारे जे आहेत जनावर त्यांना ट्रीटमेंट चांगले द्या. लो हँगिंग फ्रूट काही करण्याची गरज नाही. बेनिफिट द्यायचे राहिलेत, पैसे द्यायचे राहिले त्याला बेनिफिट इमिजिएटली देऊन टाका जो एलिजिबल आहेत त्यांना. हे रिपोर्ट पाठवला इमिजिएटली पाठवून टाका. वरिष्ठांकडून रिपोर्ट मागितले 4 दिवसात, तुम्ही 2 दिवसात पाठवा. ही विल बी प्लीज्ड. लो हँगिंग फ्रूट्स, व्हेरी इझी. थिंक ऑफ दॅट while going to the field. When you are starting to work as say LDO, what I can do? Early gains. That's the most important thing. Momentum. ते सुरू झालं. लो हँगिंग फ्रूट्स घेतलं तर मोमेंटम तयार करा. Right? I need to do right things. Quick, fast, efficient. By this way, you build your credibility. You have to build your name. When I say name, credibility, it means credibility as an officer, as a leader, as a person. Okay, this is a good officer. अरे नाही तो करप्ट आहे. Credibility. अरे तो ऑफिसलाच येत नाही, तो दारू पिऊन. Credibility. Good or bad. Result oriented. अरे नाही तो खूप कडक आहे. आणि तो हिमशिकल आहे. Credibility. Good or bad. You have to build right credibility. The moment you come into service, accelerate learning. You are at a particular level. As I said, learning has to start from here. You have to speed it up. You just don't have 100 years. You have limited time. I have limited time. Your learning has to grow faster than your age and days. Go for deeper changes in the organization, which is next 50 years. मगा जे बोलताना सांगितलं की 2013ला ऐकलं, विभागातले लोक सांगू शकतील. 1984 पासून आहे. ऍक्ट 1984चा आहे. महाराष्ट्र शासनाने 1 ऑगस्ट 1997ला अडॉप्ट केला. 2004ला रिऑर्गनायझेशन झालं. आणि आय एम टोल्ड दॅट असं सांगितलं होतं की 2020 पर्यंत टप्प्याटप्प्याने हे सगळ्या वेटरनरी डिस्पेन्सरी ग्रेड 1 केल्या जातील असं सांगितलं होतं. एकही झाले नाही. अडचणी होत्या का? येस. त्या अडचणी माझ्यासमोर होत्या का? येस. प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्विंग कॅपॅसिटी, ability. That's where your job is to solve the problem. It's doable. Why? Accelerate learning. Think what is required. If this is to be done, then what can I do? How I can mobilize resources? What support I needed? मग फायनान्स डिपार्टमेंटचा सपोर्ट पाहिजे, मला मिनिस्टरचा सपोर्ट पाहिजे, मला अधिकाऱ्यांचा सपोर्ट पाहिजे, मला टेक्निकलचा सपोर्ट पाहिजे, मला प्लॅनिंग डिपार्टमेंटचा सपोर्ट पाहिजे. हाऊ टू गेट देम ऑन बोर्ड? स्टेक होल्डर्स. आणि फायनान्सचा डिपार्टमेंट म्हणजे त्याची नॉर्म आहे, रूल आहे की जेवढ्या पोस्ट आहे त्याच्यावरची पोस्ट क्रिएट करायच्या नाही. हा नॉर्म आहे. तरी आपण 6,600 पासून 15,700 पर्यंत करून घेतलं. त्याच फायनान्स डिपार्टमेंट. दिस इज द प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्विंग ॲबिलिटी यू हॅव टू बिल्ड अप. का? यू हॅव टू हॅव नॉलेज. डीपर चेंजेस इन द ऑर्गनायझेशन. ऑर्गनायझेशन आता जे दिसतंय तुम्हाला पद, ते डीपर चेंजेस नाहीच. डीपर चेंजेस त्याच्या पुढचे जे की उद्या मी यांना सांगणार आहे. उद्या सगळे राईट फ्रॉम कमिशनर पासून ते असिस्टंट कमिशनर पर्यंतची पूर्ण 1 दिवसाचं वर्कशॉप याच्यावरतीच मी बोललेलो आहे. आणि ते इथंच असणार आहे. इथेच आहे ना, इथेच असणार आहे. मला पुढच्या 50 वर्षात काय करायचं आहे, मला म्हणजे ऑर्गनायझेशनला. दॅट्स वेअर द स्ट्रक्चर चेंजेस त्याचा वरचा पार्ट आहे. याच्यामुळे जे चेंजेस मला अपेक्षित आहे ते पुढच्या 50 वर्षामध्ये सेक्टर कुठं जाईल हे त्याच्यातून आपल्याला डीपर चेंजेस देत आहेत. दॅट्स व्हॉट यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू डू. बट फॉर टू डू दिस यू नीड केपेबिलिटीज अँड स्किल्स. व्हॉट आर दोज? अंडरलाइन. व्हॉट यू गॉट हिअर विल नॉट टेक फर्दर. तुम्ही BVSC झाला, MPSC परीक्षा पास झाला, ते नॉलेज ते इथपर्यंत आणलं. इथून पुढे जाण्यासाठी ते नॉलेज तुम्हाला सफिशियंट नाही आहे. नेसेसरी आहे बट नॉट सफिशियंट. हा तुमचा बेस आहे. नाव यू हॅव टू स्टार्ट लर्निंग डिफरंट थिंग्स. राईट? अनलेस यू डू दॅट you will not go. You will remain here. And I don't want anybody of you to
remain here, or you also don't want to remain here, you want to grow. Comfort zone trap मध्ये जाऊ नका. That's the biggest problem. मी झालो now automatically मला promotion भेटतील, anyway I'm going to become joint commissioner or blah 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 blah. That's not your growth. You have to trap a compound growth of yourself and compound growth of the society. That's what your aim should be. For that you need skills, capabilities, and that you need to develop. What are those? You require personal development, you require self-management, it has consistency, it has choices, it has credits. That is accumulated. It's just not one-off momentum. It's not just a singular thing. It's a process. And it is accumulated. Good, bad, ugly things are accumulated in your account. That's what you need to do. Culture of excellence. Famous dialogue Amir Khan, right? Excellence ke piche bhago. That's what it is. Don't go for ordinary things. Right track to be chosen for your growth, transition, and you have to go beyond yourself. Remember always this. Most of us try to be yourself. You have to challenge your own limits. When I say go beyond yourself, it means you have to challenge your own limits, and that's how you improve your limits. Surpass the limit as you have today, make it higher tomorrow. Still higher day after, and horizontal. So vertical and horizontal growth, you have to excel. That's where you have to challenge yourself every day. For that matter, you require authenticity, absolute humility, and above all, courage. If you do not have courage, you will not challenge yourself, you will not say no, you will fall in that trap of comfort. And if you once fall in a comfort trap, there is no going back. Attitude, result oriented, growth oriented. आता मी ऑफिसर झालोय, मला कोणी काही बोलायचं नाही, मी बघतो काय करायचं ते. You and me are just public servants, civil servants. Develop that attitude of being a civil servant. Underline civil. Okay? Planning. You need to plan strategically, very, very clearly. Learn change management. There will be changes, as I said, organization changes, भरपूर changes होत राहते. Times are changing, so you have to change your skills as well as change management in an organization, change management of yourself and society as a whole. Innovation. Innovation not something which require research. I am saying innovation. Innovation in application, in planning, in learning. Innovation is implementation. Innovation in outputs and outcomes. It requires decision making. And if you do not make decisions, you will not make impact. And that is possible only through team building. So these, when you go during probation and independent charges, first few months can determine whether you succeed or fail, and that stamp will always be there, and you will carry that legacy throughout your career. Make it a point, you have to be success, and if you want to be success begins now. Success will or failure will determine the way your attitude is developed right from now, and that's what I want you to learn, how to go ahead with this. More on team building. You must have shared this, so I will not go in details, but these are all the things you require to team build. Success stories of others, learn from them, hear from them, tell your own success story in personal or college life, whatever you have. Experience sharing, of course, dialogues, communication are important. Listening post, very crucial. आजकाल सोशल मीडिया वापरतो, राईट पोस्ट भरपूर असतात. मीडियम ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. Open door policy. Always welcome the visitors. Interact with them. You will come to know what exactly lies in the ground, on the ground. Multi-stake dialogue, important. We never make it, and that we don't embrace the changes. So these are the tools by which you can definitely build a team, not only of your office, with your higher ups, with your surroundings in the society, including industrialists, entrepreneurs, pharmacies, fodder developers, cattle rearers, multiple stakeholders, and that's where you have to build a team.
All this, what I told now, will make you able to solve the problems. What do problems tell you? Any problem? No. Do they tell anything? Sorry? Challenges. It actually makes you meet yourself. What level you are. Do they? Unless you face a challenge, you will not question yourself what level I am. Yes or no? Yes. You should welcome the. Do they introduce us to others? What problem does he or what problem my boss has? What problem society has? What problem farmer has? So they will introduce to others as well. Do they open us with opportunities? So problem आपण नेहमी नाही का म्हणतो मग? Do we say, do we welcome? You have to build a habit of welcoming problems. That's where your real character will come out. Are you getting me? Yes, sir. Or feeling hungry? No, sir. So be yourself. Everybody is unique in its own way. What does it mean? Reflection, introspection. If you are not reflecting on yourself, you will not come to know yourself. And if you do not come to know yourself, you cannot lead yourself. And if you cannot lead yourself, how can you lead others? Can you? आपण काय म्हणतो त्याचा प्रॉब्लेम त्याला सॉल्व्ह करता येत नाही दुसऱ्याचं काय सांगतो. So face the problems, know yourself, lead yourself, make a habit of leading yourself, acquire the capabilities, skill sets to be a public servant, you will be able to lead others and you have a chance to become a leader. Now, last of all, I have told all leadership qualities. Being a civil servant, you need to build, imbibe, practice day in and day out certain values which must have been taught during 1 month's time. Maybe it's a repetition, but just understand this. Does it make sense? What does it mean? Integrity means what? Integrity means what? Anybody? मी definition थोडक्यात दिली आहे, पण what does it actually means? Yes, you have to, as I told you, you have to keep public problems above yourself. Public, individual versus collective good, public good, societal versus individual benefits, all this, always public. But what exactly does it mean? When you say integrity, what does it mean? Anybody can tell me the meaning of integrity etymologically? Anybody? Yes.
नमस्कार सर, माझं नाव डॉक्टर अबोली कथे. मला असं वाटतंय की इंटेग्रिटी म्हणजे जी आपली कर्तव्य आहेत, जी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आहे पब्लिकच्या प्रती, ती पहिली असायला पाहिजे, ना की आपले पर्सनल जे म्हणजे दिवस.
आय एम आस्किंग इंटेग्रिटी मीनिंग. यू आर टेलिंग ॲज अ पब्लिक सर्व्हंट. येस.
नो सर, पण मला असं वाटतं की जसं कर्तव्य हे सुद्धा एक इंटेग्रिटी म्हणून आपण हे करू शकतो.
ओके. सो इट बेसिकली मीन्स युअर बॉडी, सोल अँड माइंड should be in the same place. It means your thoughts, your words, your behavior and your action should be the same. You should not contradict each other. So integrity as a person with the public profession should be, as a person, as a profession should be the same. Your value system should be the same. Your honesty as a person, honesty as a profession. Honesty as a transparent, professional as a transparent. Non-corrupt as value in personal, in a profession. That's what integrity means. That's why putting public interest above all and individual interest last. So it should reflect your personality in individual as well as professional capacity. That's what integrity. That's the most important value of a civil servant. Honesty, being truthful and open, not only to others, but to yourself and others. Both. Non-negotiable. These are all non-negotiable. Absolutely no compromise on any of these principles. Objectivity, as I was telling you. Absolutely objective. You have to make a decision on the basis of merits, rigorous analysis of data. Unfortunately, decision making is very, very superfluous. You don't apply data. You don't apply rigorous parameter. You don't really analyze data. You have to analyze what we call evidence-based decision making. That's what it is expected. So whenever there is a conflict of interest or multiple choices, how do you make choices? Data analysis, information, knowledge, actual numbers, put it down, and then you will come to know then, and then give advice or take decision on that basis. That's what you are supposed to do as a public servant. Absolute impartiality. Absolute. No deviation. Merits of the case as per the law, not on the basis of somebody's personal views or political views or whatever it is. No. That's what you are not. And one I could not keep it, it's courage. Last one, slide मध्ये मला टाकता नाही आलं. The last one is the courage you should have, moral, ethical, legal. That courage to take decision, courage to be conviction oriented, courage to say no, courage to be honest. That's what you are required. These are the core values of being a civil servant. You really cannot compromise on this. Do you get me? So do you at least getting the sense that what leadership is all about? When I started, you were very happy. I don't know whether you are happy or not. You think too serious now. You are taking it as a burden. If you take this as a burden, you will not excel. As I said, you have to challenge, you have to go beyond yourself. Leadership is going beyond yourself. What you call in parlance, Shiv Shankar knows, level 5 leadership. This goes beyond yourself. Right? ज्याला आपण अफलातून असं म्हणतो, एखादा ऍक्टिंग काय अफलातून ऍक्टिंग केली, सेम आहे अफलातून. गो बियॉन्ड युअर सेल्फ. वी एक्सपेक्ट दॅट. वी एक्सपेक्ट wisdom from you, just not knowledge. We expect wisdom of a 50-year-old person, experience of a 40-year, and salary of a 20-year person. But don't count salary. Salary is just one part. Status you get, other benefits you get is much larger. You are serving the public. You are working on behalf of, say, if I am a secretary, I am working on behalf of 12 crore people of Maharashtra. That's the capacity of working on behalf of the state, which is rare honor to anybody. And if you really pride in that, then only you can grow as a leader, grow as a person, grow as a professional. That's what the leadership is. I have been asked many times, what do you do in crisis? You have to rise up. But how do you do that when there are difficult choices? And there will be, maybe not at LDO level, but there will be difficult choices as you go up and up. In critical situation, you will be posed with many situations in personal life and professional lives. What do you do? And I have followed certain principles. I have designed my own principles in a way. If there is really critical situation, I have to make a choice. I ask 3 questions to myself. The first question, being a civil servant or a public servant, is it legal? Because you are not bound to go beyond legality. You are bound by legality, whatever, whether you like it or not. Is it legal? So there is no compromise on this. You have to perform your legal duties within the 4 corners of the law. No questions raised. If you have some questions, raise to the policy maker, get the law changed. But till the moment law is there, you have to implement. You cannot go. So the first question you have to ask, whenever you found in any crisis, is it legal? If it is not legal, question mark, matter ends there. If the answer to this question is yes, it is legal, then ask the second question. And the second question is it moral or immoral? And when I say moral, immoral, both publicly and individually, collectively and individual level, organization and institution level, not just your individual. If the question to this question can be either public morality or individual morality, it can be either yes or no. If the yes, obviously there is no question. If the no question is there, answer is there, then go for a third question. Is it in public interest or is it in individual interest? And if the answer of the three, first one is right, and of the any of the remaining two is yes, you can take that decision very clearly without any fear. Yes, that's the right decision. Because if the decision is morally correct, yes, it cannot be individual centric, it has to be public centric. Or if it is a public interest, it cannot be public immoral. Public interest and morality most of the time go hand in hand. Sometimes it may go against each other. Because again, perception, morality, immorality, this morality is basically is a bigger question. It's a sort of philosophical question, but that guide what is desirable. That's why legality is there. At the same time, you have to understand what is desirable. That's why these three questions I have framed for myself. You can think over these lines. So when a deeper crisis comes in and you have to solve a problem where there is a huge pressure from multiple stakeholders, what call should I take as a public servant? These are the questions you ask and you will get the answers. Now the question is, do you have these qualities and do you have courage and conviction to practice these principles in your professional or personal life? Answer to this question will make you either a leader or a manager or average, just a common human being. Now you have to decide whether you want to be a leader or average person. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Chetan Shimbekar. Actually, sir, my question is, after you came from your IAS training, how come you inbuilt all these qualities, or have you gone through any other certain training programs during your entire career? That's actually it inspires us a lot after looking at you. So what things you are following in your daily routine? That's the personal question maybe. Yeah, but it would be more valuable for us. Thank you.
As I said, one of the qualities you should have to grow is keep learning and accelerate learning. That's what I said. So that is the basic thing you have to have. That attitude, that approach of accelerating learning, keep reading. Yes, training I attend, but it's not something intentional. Every IAS officer attend. He also attends, I attend, everybody attends. He will also be attending and doing training sessions. But it's a learning ability and learning habit that will make a difference. By attending training, you are not going to be good or great. By learning, you are going to, whether it's experience, working, interacting, reading, attending training, all this comes under it. Now, if you are open to ideas, as I said, open door policy, open to listen and trying to solve the problem, and ready to accept the mistakes and overcome it, you will grow as a person, as a professional, as a reader. Now, to do that, you require courage, you require convictions. These are the principles. Now, you have to decide whether you want to follow principles. And for me, more than principles, I have certain values which I practice. I want to lead a value-based life. And values are above all. Principles come secondary. Values come first. And those are core values. As I told, some of the core values of civil servant. But as a person, as an individual, what values do you cherish? What values do you practice? That is important. Just to give an anecdote, when I go to Missouri, we just go foundation, then go to phase 1, then we have district training, and then we have again phase 2. That is what general 2 years training program for IAS officers. So I had come from Missouri, and then Yeshada for 15, I think 1 month, then we had Maharashtra Darshan, and then we go to district. So I had got Solapur at that point in time. Floods were there. And my divisional commissioner was Kuruntkar. Bapu म्हणतो आपण त्यांना.
सो फ्लड्स वर देअर, ही सेड येस नाव यू गो डिरेक्टली, नो वेटिंग. सो इथून बस स्टँडला गेलो शिवाजीनगरला, तिथून बस पकडली, फ्लड होते मग डायरेक्ट पंढरपूरला जायचं सांगितलं. वेन देअर, रात्री 9 वाजेपर्यंत पोहोचलो, ते गेस्ट हाऊसला थांबलो. तर असं असिस्टंट कलेक्टर देअर. आणि 2-4-8 दिवस ते काही फ्लडचं चाललं. त्याच्यानंतर सोलापूरला गेलो. सोलापूरला गेल्यानंतर ऑफकोर्स कलेक्टर तिथं होतेच पंढरपूरला, फ्लड असल्यामुळे फ्लड मॅनेजमेंट शिकलो, ऑफिस प्रोसिजर शिकलो, 6 बंडर सिस्टम मी त्या दिवशी पहिल्या याच्यामध्ये शिकलो. मला ते तत्कालीन असिस्टंट कलेक्टर जे होते मुथुकृष्णन, मला 2-3 वर्ष सिनियर आहेत ते, तिथं त्यांनी मला पहिल्या दिवशी की मला त्यांना विचारलं की हाऊ ट्रॅकिंग कसं करायचं, की किती ॲप्लिकेशन येतात, कुणाचं पेंडिंग आहे. आणि मग ते 6 बंडर सिस्टम सांगितलं. अँड दॅट आय कंटिन्यू प्रॅक्टिसिंग दॅट इन माय डेली लाईफ, इन द सेन्स ऑफिस लाईफमध्ये जे आहे तसं पेंडन्सी कधी राहणार नाही. लोक म्हणतात माझं एवढं पेंडिंग आहे, तेवढं डिसिशन मेकिंग क्विक, पेंडन्सी नाही राहिली की ऑटोमॅटिकली फरक पडतो. त्या 6 बंडर सिस्टम ऑफिस प्रोसिजर कम इन प्लेस वेदर, दॅट्स वाय लर्न. वन्स आय वेंट टू सोलापूर आणि मग अटॅचमेंट चालू झाल्या. सो देर वॉज तहसीलदार नॉर्थ सोलापूर, तिथं सोलापूरमध्ये नॉर्थ आणि साऊथ सोलापूर असे 2 तालुके म्हणजे सिटीचाच पार्ट असल्यामुळे आहे. तो फ्रॉम समवेअर आय गॉट इन्फॉर्मेशन की बार चालू आहे, लेडी बार चालू आहे, डान्स बार चालू आहे. आणि तहसीलदारवर चर्चा केली तर मला येस चालू आहे, पण तिथं काही आपल्याला आपण काही करू शकत नाही, कारण दॅट बिलॉंग्स टू सम एक्स बिग पर्सन हुज गो. म्हणलं का, तरी तुम्हाला बंदी घातली आहे का? नाही आहे. मग रेड का करत नाही म्हटलं, बिकॉज इफ इट इज इलिगल, लेडीज बार आहे, पैसे देता घेता येत नाहीत, तुम्ही का करत नाही? त्यांना नो वी डोंट हॅव प्रोटेक्शन. म्हटलं व्हॉट प्रोटेक्शन टू रिक्वायर? कलेक्टरने तुम्हाला नाही सांगितलं, कायदा सांगतो नाही म्हणाला का तुम्हाला त्यांच्याकडून हप्ता भेटतोय? व्हॉट एक्झॅक्टली डज हॅट हॅपन? म्हणजे असं काय नाही. मग लेट अस डू इट. तुम्ही येता बरोबर, येतो, मला काही अडचण नाही. सो आय डिस्कस विथ द कलेक्टर, बिईंग अ प्रोफेशनल आय डिस्कस की अशी माहिती आहे आणि वी वॉन्ट टू डू दिस थिंग. कलेक्टर सेड गो हॅड. त्या रात्री आम्ही रेड केली. रेड तुम्हाला कॅमेरा घेऊन जाता येत नाही, कारण तो ओळखणार, म्हणून मी आपला मोबाईल होता असं बोलण्यासारखं केलं, त्याच्यातून शूटिंग करत होतो. लेडीज तुमच्या डान्स करतात, पैसे देतात, एव्हरीथिंग. रात्री केलं, सील झालं, जो हंगाम व्हायचा तो झाला. दुसऱ्या दिवशी ते सगळीकडे झालं, कारण ते एका मोठ्या लीडरचे होते. ऑब्विसली ही वॉज मिनिस्टर ॲट दॅट पॉईंट इन टाईम, सिटिंग मिनिस्टर, त्यांचा तो बार होता. कलेक्टरवरती दुसऱ्या दिवशी भडीमार. प्रोफेशनलला रेड करण्याचे अधिकार आहेत का? सुरुवातीतून लिगल. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन लिगल. मला तू उत्तर द्यायचं नव्हतं, मग कलेक्टर, कारण कलेक्टरची परमिशन घेतली होती. कलेक्टरने काय उत्तर दिलं त्यांना? काय? प्रोफेशनल रेड केलेली नाही, तहसीलदारने केलेली. ऑफकोर्स. मग दुसरा प्रश्न, एसपीने का केलं नाही? त्यांच्याकडे माहीत नसेल. एसपी नाही, मग असं माहीत झालं, तिथले ते PI पासून याच्यापर्यंत सस्पेंड व्हायची वेळ आली. तुम्हाला माहीत नाही, प्रोफेशनल येतो, रेड करतो, तो करतो, तुम्हाला काय माहीत नाही? व्हॉट द हेल एव्हर डू? त्याच्यानंतर तो बंद झाला, की डेली ऑलमोस्ट 50,000 1,00,000 कलेक्शन काहीतरी होत असेल. सो द फर्स्ट एनिमी आय क्रिएटेड विदिन द फर्स्ट वीक ऑफ माय जॉइनिंग. नाउ डू यू हॅव द करेज अँड कन्विक्शन टू डू दॅट is the question. Not for individual interest, for public interest, for implementing the law. That is the answer. First thing you have to see is it's very difficult to answer any question straight jacket is in leadership. Right? For example, तुम्हाला असं वाटतं असेल की अरे अशी ड्रेसिंग सेन्स काय? ज्यावेळेस नव्हतं त्यावेळेस एवढं विचित्र ड्रेसिंग सेन्स होता माझा, यू विल नॉट बिलीव्ह इट. बट नाव आय एम व्हेरी क्लिअर कट की नाही, माझा ड्रेसिंग सेन्स सुद्धा चांगला पाहिजे. बिकॉज यू आर पब्लिक सर्वंट. की पब्लिक सर्वंट किंवा गव्हर्नमेंटमध्ये गचाळच पाहिजे असं काही नियम आहे का? हां, कारण तुम्ही आपलं कार्यालय म्हटलं की थुंकलेलंच असलं पाहिजे अशी जी भूमिका ही का? वाय? असं का असतं? मी ज्या ज्या ठिकाणी काम केलं त्या ठिकाणच्या कार्यालयामध्ये थुंकी कोणी दाखवून द्यायची, माझं ओपन चॅलेंज आहे. कायदा आहे, 100 रुपये फाईन करता येतो, आपलेच लोक करतात, आणि तुम्ही तिथं बसलेला आहे आणि सांगता अरे तुम्ही का करत नाही? What the hell it is? Lead by example. Don't tolerate indiscipline. कार्यालय स्वच्छ करण्यासाठी तुमच्याकडे पैसे आहेत, पीएन आहेत, स्वच्छ ठेवलेले आहेत, मग स्वच्छ का होत नाही, राहत नाही? का राहत नाही? कन्व्हिक्शन, सिंपल. काय लागते त्यासाठी? तुम्ही आज या ड्रेसमध्ये चांगले दिसता असं मला वाटतं. जस्ट इमॅजिन पहिल्या दिवशी तुमचा फोटो काढून बघा आणि आजचा आता पण तुम्ही ग्रुप फोटो काढायचा, कधी बघायचं दोन्ही गोष्टी, यू विल फील द डिफरन्स. मी ज्या ज्या ठिकाणी काम केलं त्या प्रत्येक ठिकाणी कोणी खुश हो की न हो, एक दोन लोक खुश झालेले आहेत. नंबर एक तिथला टेलर, आणि आय एम नॉट जोकिंग. मला एक वेळेस माझ्या प्रोबेशनमध्ये मी माड्याला व्हिडिओ होतो आणि 26 जानेवारी आला होता. म्हणजे आमच्या पोस्टिंगचा असा ज्यावेळेस पहिला अटॅचमेंटमध्ये असतो, इंडिपेंडंट असतो. 26 जानेवारीला मी कंपल्सरी केलं प्रोबेशनमध्ये. बंद गळा घालून यायचा, ब्लॅक शूज विथ लेस. मगाचा कोणतरी आला त्याने ब्लॅक शूज घातलेला नाही, ब्राऊन आहे. पहिला बोलणारा जो होता कोण, मला जाता ज्यावेळेस निरोप द्यायचा वेळ आला तो तिथे आला. तो कोण? कपड्याचा दुकानदार, शूजवाला. तुम्ही साहेब इथंच राहा. म्हणलं का? म्हणा आमचा धंदा खूप वाढला. नाव द क्वेश्चन इज, तिथून पुढे आतापर्यंत तिथे ते जेवढे कर्मचारी ते अजूनही छाती टोकपणे बंद गळा घालतात. दॅट इज व्हॉट इज एक्सपेक्टेड. कल्चर, कन्व्हिक्शन. आणि फक्त माड्यात सांगत नाही, ज्या ज्या ठिकाणी मी राहिलो त्या त्या ठिकाणी झालं. म्हणजे ज्या ठिकाणी मी पोस्टेड 1 मे, 15 ऑगस्ट किंवा 26 जानेवारीला असेल त्या ठिकाणी हे कंपल्सरी झालेलं आहे. इट्स अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ कन्व्हिक्शन. इफ यू रिअली इन पब्लिक सर्व्हिस डिसाइड टू डू इट, and if you are convicted about it, you can do it. Question is, do you want to do it?
वाशीला असताना सर, कमिशनर असताना तिथे एका म्हाताऱ्याबाईचं झोपडी पाडली होती आपण. वाशीला असताना
बार्शी.
हा, तर तुम्ही आणि एक सोलापूरला कलेक्टर असताना सोलापूरला पाणी, उजनीच्या धरणाचं पाणी सोलापूरला आलंच पाहिजे असं पॉलिटिकल खूप प्रेशर होतं. तुम्ही दडपण कसं हँडल करता, थोडं वैयक्तिक मला थोडं सांगा.
अगेन कन्व्हिक्शन तुम्ही जर बघितलं तर ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह काय? ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह आहे की सोलापूरला पाणी द्यायचा, हा ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह होता. कायदा काय सांगतो की उजनी धरण हे 8 माई धरण आहे. म्हणजे मार्च नंतर पाणी सोडण्याचा प्रश्न येत नाही नियमानुसार आणि कायद्यानुसार. ऑफकोर्स प्रॅक्टिस वेगळी जरी असेल तर पण ॲक्च्युअल तो कायदा आहे का धरणच 8 माई आहे. धरण 8 माई तर 12 माई पाणी सोडण्याचा प्रश्न येत नाही. पहिला लिगल प्रश्न तिथं उत्तर झाला. लिगलवर कोणी काही बोलू शकत नाही. लिगल आन्सर त्याचं भेट. ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह काय? मॉरल आणि पब्लिक. तर सोलापूरच्या शहराला पाणी पुरवठा करण्यासाठी उजनीमधून पाणी खालच्या धरणापर्यंत जातं आणि तिथून पाणी लिफ्ट केलं जातं, हा त्याच्यातला इश्यू आहे. मग म्हटलं हा जर प्रॉब्लेम आहे तर उजनी धरणातून पाईपलाईन काय येत नाही डायरेक्टली? सोलापूरला पाणी देणं एवढाच विषय आहे ना, ते नदीतून सोडा पाहिजे असं काही नियम नाही. यू कॅन डिरेक्टली गो फॉर पाईपलाईन. कारण दरवर्षी इतकं मेट्रिक टन का तुमचं MLD पाणी जातं तिथं, सोडावं लागतं उन्हाळ्यामध्ये. त्या पाण्याच्या कितीतरी काहीतरी 1-2% सुद्धा पाणी शहराला भेटत नाही. कारण पाणी ऑफकोर्स इव्हॅपोरेशन लॉसेस आहेत, बाकीचे लॉसेस आहेत, मूर्त आहे, ऑल सेड अँड डन. त्याच्यावरती पूर्ण ऊसाची शेती चालते, तिथून लिफ्टिंग होतं, हे सगळ्या गोष्टी आहेत. तर ज्यावेळेस मी कलेक्टर म्हणून तिथं जॉईन झालो होतो त्यावेळेस मी पहिला प्रश्न, तिथला सर्वात मेजर प्रॉब्लेम माझ्या मी हातात घेतला होता. कारण तो तुम्ही आता हातात कसा घ्यायचा तुमचं कन्व्हिक्शन आहे की नाही. सोलापूर DPAP जिल्हा आहे, ड्रॉट प्रोन एरिया प्रोजेक्ट म्हणजे म्हणतो. इथं सगळ्या जिल्ह्यात 13 तालुके काहीतरी आहेत, त्याच्यापैकी 11 तालुके त्याचे ड्रॉट प्रोन मधले आहेत. म्हणजे पाऊस तिथं मिनिमम आहे. ॲट द सेम टाइम इंडियामधला सर्वात जास्त शुगर केन फॅक्टरी असलेला सुद्धा जिल्हा आहे. हे कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन नाही आहे का? आणि दिस इज वॉट आय स्टार्टेड वर्किंग फ्रॉम डे 1. हे कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन मला कमी करायचं आहे. त्याचाच परिणाम म्हणून तिथं दुसऱ्या बाजूला दरवर्षी 500-600 टँकर पण लागत होते पियाच्या पाण्याला. म्हणजे सर्वात जास्त ऊसाचं क्षेत्र तिथं, सर्वात जास्त शुगर फॅक्टरीज तिथं, सर्वात मोठं धरण तिथं, सर्वात टँकरही जास्त तिथं. एवढे कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन एका जिल्ह्यात कसे असू शकतात? हा समथिंग नॉट गॉन रॉंग इदर इन द पॉलिसी ऑर इम्प्लिमेंटेशन. And who is responsible for the district? Ownership. I took the ownership. I said मला हा प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व करायचा. I started working on it and did solve to a certain extent. जे काय मला 17-18 महिन्यामध्ये did solve. तुम्ही जो प्रश्न विचारला त्याचं काय केलं प्रेशरचं डिमांड होतं. म्हणलं मी सोडणार नाही आहे. का सोडणार नाही? कारण लिगली तुम्ही बाउंड नाही आहेत. मला याला पाणी द्यायचं, त्याचं कसं करायचं बघतो मी. आय टॅकल दॅट प्रॉब्लेम. म्हणून NTPCचा तिथं प्रोजेक्ट चालू होता नॅशनल. आता तो प्रोजेक्ट सुरू झालेला आहे NTPCचा. त्याला उजनीमधून पाणी प्रोसेसिंग म्हणजे त्यांचं प्लांटसाठी वापरायचं होतं. आणि त्यांना कलेक्टरची ऑफकोर्स लँड ॲक्विशन पासून सगळ्यासाठी गरज लागते, कारण तो प्रोजेक्ट सुद्धा 7-8 वर्षापासून पेंडिंग होता. लँड ॲक्विशन रोडच्या बाजून शेतकरी अडवत होते. मीटिंग झाली, त्यांना म्हणलं मी तुमच्या लँड ॲक्विशनचे प्रॉब्लेम मी सोडतो. दॅट इज माय रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. 15 दिवसात तुमचे प्रॉब्लेम सोडले जातील. तुम्ही जी पाईपलाईन करताय त्याचं पाणी शहराला द्यायचं आणि शहरामधलं जे सिवेज वेस्ट होईल त्याचं प्रोसेस पाणी तुम्ही घ्यायचं, हे अग्रीमेंट करा. त्यांच्याबरोबर अग्रीमेंट केली. म्हणून मला नवीन पाईपलाईन करण्याची गरज पडली नाही. NTPCला जी पाईपलाईन जाणार होती त्याचं डायरेक्टली पाणी उडणे धरणाचं NTPCला जाण्याच्या ऐवजी शहराला भेटेल. आणि शहराचं STP मधलं जे पाणी असेल त्याचं त्या लेवलचं प्रोसेसिंग करायचं आणि ते प्रोसेसिंगचं पाणी त्यांना द्यायचं. म्हणजे त्यांना जे पाहिजे ते पाणी भेटणार. गव्हर्नमेंटचं कन्करन्स घेतलं, ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टरचं त्याच्यामध्ये ऑफिशियली घेतलं. एव्हरीबडी वॉज ऑन विनिंग प्लेट. काम सुरू झालं, त्यांचं पाईपलाईनचं काम कम्प्लीट होत आलं. आणि इकडे हा प्रश्न आला, मला मी सोडणार नाही, कारण तुम्हाला पाणी द्यायचं वगैरे मी देतो. देन द पॉलिटिशियन्स मेड ह्यूज इश्यू. हुएवर ऑफकोर्स तिथं शेतकरी होते. दे वेंट टू हायकोर्ट. हायकोर्टाला मी दाखवलं 8 महिने 12 महिने नाही. हायकोर्टाने त्यांना फटकार मारले. लिगली साऊंड, पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट. आता प्रश्न असा आहे की प्रेशर, याला तुम्ही प्रेशरहून बघितलं असतं त्याला हातच लावायचा नाही. हा प्रॉब्लेम होता. तो प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह करण्यासाठी ॲज अ लीडर दॅट्स युअर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. आर यू एबल टू टेक दॅट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी अँड ओनरशिप ॲज अ पब्लिक सर्वंट is the most important question you have to ask yourself. If you are owning some project, you have to think it through. पाणी द्यायचं नाही, सोडायचं नाही हा विषयच नव्हता. विषय वेगळा आहे. यू हॅव टू अंडरस्टँड. दॅट्स वाय ओनरशिप मी घेतली. मग त्या अनुषंगाने टँकर नव्हते का नव्हते? टँकर लागत होते का लागतात? 600-700 लागतात का लागतात? पाणी नाही, पाणी का नाही आहे? सोर्सच नाही. म्हणलं कुठे सोर्स नाही बघू आपण. पहिल्या वेळेस मागितलं आपल्याला माहिती आहे, ज्यावेळेस बघतो त्यावेळेस आपला तहसीलदार मार्फत रिपोर्ट येतात, BDO डेप्युटी इंजिनियर असतात त्यांचा. प्रत्येक गावामध्ये किती पाण्याचे सोर्स हे स्त्रोत. जे सुरू झालं त्यावेळेस 700 स्त्रोत दाखवले होते मला. म्हणलं 1 महिना घ्या, ते 1200 झाले. अजून 15 दिवस घ्या म्हटलं, 15,000 सोर्स झाले. एक्झिस्टिंग होते, रेकॉर्डला नव्हते. रेकॉर्डला आणायला लावले. तहसीलदारांनी मिटिंगला आले की आम्हाला टँकर पाहिजे. म्हणजे ठीक आहे, किती? एवढे टँकर पाहिजेत. तुमच्यापैकी किती जणांनी व्हिजिट केली? सगळ्यांनी केली. म्हणजे मी परत एक गोष्ट होतं, किती वेळेस व्हिजिट केले? नाही सर 8 दिवस द्या. 400 टँकरची मागणी 34 टँकरवर 8 दिवसात तहसीलदारकडनंच. परत आले, किती पाहिजे? 34. कोणत्या गावात? ह्या गावात पाहिजे, X गावामध्ये पाहिजे. म्हणजे ठीक आहे. किती क्षेत्र आहे? एवढं. बागायती किती आहे? 20 एकर. टँकर कशाला पाहिजे? गावात बागायती आहे म्हणजे विहीर आहे, टँकर कशाला पाहिजे? ओनरशिप. 15-16चा ड्राऊट होता, आठवत असेल तर तुम्हाला. ड्राऊटमध्ये 7 टँकर मी दिले होते. एकही चारा छावणी नव्हती. त्या ड्राऊट नंतर 15-16चे म्हणजे 16च्या जूनमध्ये किंवा 15च्या जूनमध्ये पाऊस ज्यावेळेस पडला, वॉटर टेबल 1.5 मीटरनी वाढलेला होता. So it is not just release of water, it is whole water sector and responsibility. प्रेशर कधी असतं त्याच्याकडे प्रॉब्लेम म्हणून बघितला असेल. अपॉर्च्युनिटी बघितली तो इश्यू मी ओनरशिप करतोय म्हणून. म्हणून पहिल्या दिवशी तुम्हाला जे सांगितलं होतं की तुम्ही ज्यावेळेस LDO जाता, तुमचे 20 गावं, 20 गावामधले शेतकरी, शेतकऱ्याचे पशुपालक ही तुम्ही ओनरशिप घेतली, मग ते उद्योजक कसं करायचं सोपं जाईल. सो प्रेशर घेण्यापेक्षा ओनरशिप घ्या. दॅट्स माय मंत्रा. If you do that, I think you can excel.